It's springtime. As much as I love the fresh air and the green and all the flowers blooming, springtime can be a very difficult time of year. You may have noticed recently that some people that you know may be struggling overall with their mental health, or that maybe if they've struggled with mental illness in the past that they're going through a relapse right now. And I'm here to tell you, don't worry, I promise you're not alone. A lot of people are going through things like that right now, and there are some reasons for it. One of them, the most obvious reason, is just the fact that sometimes people relapse. Sometimes people are just going through a hard time in general, and there's nothing you can do about it. It just happens. But a couple of the other reasons are a little bit more scientific than that. In the most basic, easy to understand terms, one of the reasons a lot of us are having a particularly nasty time right now is because of how changeable spring can be, especially if you're in kind of a temperate zone like me that has really crazy weather. You'll have days where it's 70 degrees outside and bright and sunny, and you can go outside and soak in all that wonderful vitamin D that enhances all of your joyful hormones, and it gets rid of all that dark depression that was existing within you during the winter. But 12 hours later, it will be dark and overcast and stormy with 60-mile-an-hour winds and no sun anymore. The sun just disappears for like 3 days straight, and all that vitamin D gets sucked back out and goes away. It's difficult. It's a very manic time of year, and I'm not saying that in an offensive way. Like, I literally mean it's a manic time of year for everybody, because there's no telling day to day what's going to happen with the weather. One day you're fine because the sun is out, the next day it's gone and you're not fine anymore. And there isn't really a way for us to fix that. Yeah, we can try to take supplements to try to help us out with it, but overall it's just going to make us feel a little bit confused in an emotional sense, because we can't regulate our hormones and our emotions when this kind of weather is happening. The other reason for some unhappiness has more to do with if you have outdoor pets or farm animals that you consider family. Spring is a nasty time of year for outdoor pets. The winter is harsh on them, whether they're outdoor animals or not. Winter's just hard on everybody. And if they've managed to pull through, use all their strength, and get through that winter time, spring is no less difficult on them because of what I just mentioned. The fact that at least, even though winter's hard, their bodies could get used to the fact that it's going to be cold, it's going to be snow, it's going to be hard. In the spring, there's no way for them to really prepare in a physical sense for what's coming to them. And a lot of animals die in the spring. Many are born and many more die. It's just one of those sad things that happens. Everything just kind of finally catches up with them. And why am I saying all this? I'm saying all this as a lead up to the main topic of this video, which is, since spring is so emotionally difficult on people, we're going to see an influx in videos that begin something like this.
Hi everybody! I'm really sorry about the fact that I haven't been filming lately. I know I haven't been uploading as often as I usually do, and it's just because my life's been so hard and hectic lately, and I just don't know what to do, and I feel like I owe you guys an explanation since I haven't uploaded in 3 weeks. And here's everything that's been going on in my life right now. Even though it's personal, it's really hard for me to talk about.
This is something that, yes, does happen all times of the year, but I tend to see it even more in the spring because of how hard it is to regulate hormones in winter and in spring. And it made me think a little bit. A lot of people, when they haven't been able to upload because they're going through something either mentally or physically that doesn't allow them to film, they feel this pressing need to divulge everything that's been happening to them in their personal lives on camera to a mass audience across the world. Some people are fine with this. I understand that, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you are comfortable with telling everyone every aspect of what's been happening in your life, more power to you. Go ahead and do it. But a vast majority of the people I see on camera look very uncomfortable. They look like they don't want to be talking about this. And what popped into my head when I noticed this is how much of your personal life and the reasons you haven't been able to upload videos on YouTube is really your audience's business. What are you obligated to tell them, and what are you allowed to keep to yourself? That's a very difficult question to answer point blank. There is no firm, solid, direct answer to this. You kind of have to unpack some stuff to get to it. The easiest answer is to say, well, it's whatever you want, whatever you're comfortable with, you can go ahead and just put on the internet. You don't have to tell anybody anything. We're all consciously aware of that. We all realize that we are not like legally bound or morally bound to tell everybody what's been happening to us, about every doctor's appointment, about every death in the family. But people still do it anyway, even though they don't want to. Why is that? Why do they feel so obligated? It's because monetization on YouTube kind of coincides a lot with your upload schedule. You need to have some kind of upload schedule if you have any hopes of growing your channel. Even if you don't know an exact day and time, you have to know, I'm going to upload once a week. I'm going to upload once every 3 weeks. I'm going to upload every day. You have to have some solid idea of when you're uploading your videos. Otherwise, people aren't going to know when to expect you and they're less likely to subscribe. When a person is kind of a microscopic channel like mine is right now, where I barely have over 200 subscribers on here, you don't feel as pressed to explain everything that's going on because there's not enough people to really care. I can just say, hey guys, follow me on Instagram. I'm not going to be uploading for a couple of weeks because stuff's going on in my life. And for the most part, people will just accept that as a proper response. But once you have 500,000 followers, 1 million followers, 3 million followers, quite a substantial group of people watching your channel, people start to expect a little bit more. You're sitting there in front of your camera talking about some aspect of your life. Whether you think it's personal or not, it is very personal to your audience when they see you once a week and they listen to what you have to say for anywhere from 3 minutes to an hour or longer. They feel like they've bonded with you in a sense. It's almost like having an online friendship with the person, because when you really sit down and think about it, I see people on YouTube who upload every week more often than I see most of my friends, unless they're friends who happen to live with me. And that's how it is for most people, which means on some level, we know more about people that we watch on YouTube than we do about our own real life friends. And that's because of our upload schedule. And once you make that bond with that person, whether you, the YouTuber, think you're giving something back to that friendship or not, you really are. I mean, no, you're not talking one-on-one with one specific person like a Skype conversation. Is Skype even still alive anymore? You're not necessarily having a one-on-one conversation with a specific person, but you are sitting down in front of someone and talking to them as you would if you were on the phone or if you were on a video call with someone. So it's almost impossible to not make some kind of friendship type link with the YouTuber you're subscribed to. Once that link is established, people subconsciously kind of expect the same level of friendship from you, the uploader, as they do their real life friends. Well, if I call my best friend every Wednesday and all of a sudden she doesn't call me on Wednesday and she says nothing on social media and I don't know where she's gone, I want to know what happened. I want to call her. I want to know every detail of what happened that day, and chances are, since we're best friends, she'll happily tell me. But if a YouTuber usually uploads on a Wednesday and doesn't one Wednesday and doesn't post anything on social media, it's kind of radio silent until they come back. There's no way for you to know what's going on. There's no one you can turn to. You don't know they're mutual friends with you. You probably don't even have mutual friends with them. Not real friends, just other people you follow. So it's really strange when suddenly you don't hear from them and there's no way for you to know whether they're okay or not. And unfortunately, this is when people tend to get spammed online. Everyone starts to freak out because we have that missing piece. We don't know what's going on in their life. So everyone starts going to Twitter and going to Instagram and going in the comments of old videos and saying, Are you okay? Where have you been? We're really worried about you. You haven't uploaded in 2 weeks and we haven't heard. Are you dead? What's going on? Both sides of this are understandable. The audience's side is understandable because, as I explained, they've established some kind of friendship-like bond with you. So they are genuinely worried about your welfare and they want to make sure that you're doing okay. But at the same time, you have to remember, this poor person doesn't know who a vast majority of you are. They don't know you exist. They know nothing about you. They aren't obligated to care about how worried you are about them. I know it sounds mean, but it's the truth. They don't have to care. And they're not responsible for how you, the audience member, feels about them. So I understand being worried, but you also have to understand that when you do things like that, when you get worried about a YouTuber because you haven't seen them upload in a little while, basically try your best to assume they're just busy until they come back and say something. If they come back and they don't say anything about why they left, leave them alone. It means they don't want to talk about it. And fellow YouTubers, understand that I know you want to keep that friendly rapport with your fans. I know you want to be there for them and you want to make them feel better. But if you're not doing well right now, if you are going through some kind of mental health crisis, or you just can't get your emotions in check from the weather, or you're not doing well for any reason at all, you're not obligated in any way to sit in front of a camera and tell everybody where you've been and why you were gone. You're just not. It's not your responsibility to make your audience happy. It's your responsibility to make you happy. You can't pour from an empty cup. If it makes you uncomfortable to sit there and talk to this huge audience about why you were gone, don't do it. If you feel like you owe them some kind of response because you left without saying anything, that's fine. But you can just say something really generic like,
"Hey guys, sorry that I haven't uploaded in a little while. I was going through some stuff. Don't worry, I'm fine, and I'd rather not talk about it. I'd rather just go back to normal and just continue on like nothing happened."
At least then your audience knows that yes, you were going through something, you are fine, they don't need to worry, and everything is okay again. I hope this video helped a lot of people in some way or another, whether you are an audience member or a YouTuber yourself. Just understand that your favorite YouTuber doesn't owe you any aspect of their life that they don't want to talk about, and YouTubers, you don't owe your audience members any aspect of your life that you don't want to talk about. As always, please do something that makes you happy today, especially since the weather's been on crack lately, no matter what anyone else thinks about it, and I will see all of you again very soon.